Episode 10, the feedback episode.
Right on.
We are doing it.
Hey, we're in different chairs.
Oh, yeah, we switched sides, actually, for
Look
other
at us
video
go.
listeners, or video watchers. So
Didn't realize that.
that's cool.
Right.
Oh, busy day, eh, man?
Yeah, lots of driving for both of us.
Yeah, man, probably put on like 400 or 500 clicks between the two of us today. So
Yeah, wow.
yeah, for any listeners who don't know, we work in the same business, which Ty owns, and
Well-deserved coffee.
sell doors and run around all day. So
Lovely.
lots of fun. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
Earlier this week we were in Guido.
Yep.
Talked to two Bible classes there. That's for an upcoming episode idea we have. So we want to we did talk to the kids, and we're going to come back again in 2 weeks once they flip over to the new quadmester. And we talked to them about what Real Talk is, first of all, and then secondly, this episode idea that we have is to do an episode on Christian apologetics. Mm-hmm. So we want to get a lot of questions in from the kids, kind of basically create a platform for them to, they can either email us or text us anonymously, and send in their questions on faith, God, family, life, all these kind of bigger questions that if you were to ask a teacher or a pastor or a parent, like, you might feel comfortable doing that as a teenager or whatever, but you might not feel comfortable, and you might be worried about the judgment if you have some real serious questions.
Maybe we could put this ask out for everyone who listens, because not
Totally.
everyone goes to Guido either. So
Yep.
that just seemed like a good central spot for us to go and chat with the kids. But and a lot of our listeners are younger in that demographic, so it was cool to see actually people who listen to.
Yeah.
And then we got some feedback on some of our other episodes, but then also like encouraging them to send in questions. So maybe other people want to send in questions about anything they're wondering about their faith. All the things you just mentioned. So
Totally. And the idea is one of two things. Either if we get a lot of stuff kind of centered around the questions
both.
around faith.
yeah
Yeah,
both
possibly.
ideas.
Well, I'll explain the ideas and we'll say, we'll go for that. Don't want to jump the gun here too much. But the first idea is to get a Christian apologist on, perhaps, someone from the Ezra Institute, perhaps, or some other local institution to talk, who's someone who does this kind of for a living, defends the faith, and to go through all those questions with one person. The other idea we have is if we get a kind of more broad-ranging, wide array of topics, not just faith stuff, then maybe we'll reach out to different people, obviously probably some ministers, maybe some professors, if it's related to something to do with counseling or addiction or anything like that. We'll reach out to people in those fields and kind of get some expert replies back, and those people can have some time to write their thoughts down and give a thorough response, and then we'll share that with you on the pod and kind of do an episode that way. So
so that'd be a really cool episode if we can compile enough questions, and maybe we can have somebody on to do some in-person answers, so it's not just us talking. But so hopefully we can put that together, and then that'll be a really good episode, informative for everybody. So
totally. And if
so we're working on that.
Yeah. And for any of the parents or grandparents listening, like if you want to encourage your children or grandchildren to send in questions too, that would be awesome. Mm-hmm. We'd love to engage on it. I mean, it's important. It's cool. I think it'll be an opportunity for young people to ask their questions, for people of any age. But then if we get a large number of questions from high school students, from college students, it's a great way for older listeners to kind of see what the issues today's youth are struggling with as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that could be informative that way as well, and hopefully we'll get some answers from people who ask questions, and we can all learn a thing or two. Yep. So looking forward to doing that, so stay tuned.
That was our busy week, working on that and thinking about that.
And doing our day jobs. So
yeah.
Staying busy.
And more recording. So we recorded the last one, or the next episode, a couple nights ago, and we got another section of it tonight. So but yeah, so why don't we roll into Al Bazuin's? I always say Bazine, but it's
apparently there's a CanRef and URC difference on how you say that. So Bazian is how I would say it as a CanRef person. Bazuin.
Okay.
Something like that.
Is it a Dutchism?
I don't even know if it's a Dutchism. It's just they say it one way and we say another. So
anyways,
that's
Bazine.
Yeah.
Why don't we get into that episode a little bit and just talk about, he laid everything out so well, and we had tons of engagement on this episode. I think it's just because it's so relatable. He's such a great storyteller. He's a funny guy. If there's a bill, there's a way. That's been stuck in my head forever and ever. But yeah, there's just, there was just so much in there. It's hard to unpack everything as people who haven't been through this, but like, we would encourage anybody to go re-listen to it. For lots of people who have listened to it multiple times, and I have, because it's just like,
it was a real pleasure.
Something that grips you, and it's something that's it's enjoyable to hear a success story like that. Always hearing so
totally. Yeah, no, he was a fantastic guest and storyteller, and we enjoyed talking to him. And yeah, we got a lot of good feedback from the listeners too, and just a lot of people just appreciated a guy like that sharing his story from a man in his position as a pastor, and just to be vulnerable and to share his journey and his struggles.
Yeah, it's something
That was cool.
pretty unique, right? And so I think it's and for him to put himself out there, and he said it's also hard for his family, but it's like it is so important, and I think they know that, and he knows that, and now we know that. It's like
yeah. And I hope too, like with this episode that we did with Pastor Al, like it will help also people listening too, if you're struggling at all. Like hopefully he was able to make some sense. And I know we didn't get down too much in the weeds in terms of like the science around addiction or even different programs, getting to the nitty gritty around like Life Renewal versus Celebrate Recovery versus AA. And that's something we got some feedback on too, and we're totally open to doing more episodes on this topic.
Yeah, I've spoken to a few people who've done Life Renewal since, and they've said or expressed how amazing that is. Yeah, and how it's a journey. Apparently, I haven't been through it myself, and it's something. Even if you're not struggling to put yourself through that, you actually learn so much about yourself.
Totally.
Yeah. So, we'd love to have somebody on from that. Maybe we'll make time in our schedule at some point. I know we had recommendations on some of the guests too that we could have on for that. Mm-hmm. So we'll keep that in the back of our minds for sure.
Totally. Yeah. Stay tuned for that. Mm-hmm. So, once again, just appreciate all the positive feedback. You guys are really eating up that episode. Honestly, it took off. That was, we haven't really talked too much about our stats, but like the show's doing well from our standpoint. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Typically, like most of these interview episodes, we get at least 1,500 to 18, 19, 2,000 listening.
Yeah, I just looked at it this morning. It was about 2,400 on that one.
And it's just checked now this evening. It's creeping up on 25. So.
And it's new still, and it's it's really encouraging to see people listen to it. And obviously that's not unique people, and some don't listen to the end, but it's just awesome to see engagement like that. And we hope that everyone's being blessed by what we're doing.
Yep.
So
cool.
We'll keep at it.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to make this episode super, super long. We got to get to our future one coming up, which we're going to have an episode coming for you on. It's going to be partly on mission, and then the context, how the Psalms fit into mission work, and whether they're help or hindrance, or how the Psalms are used in the mission field, both in here in North America and then also abroad. So we're really excited to bring that to you. It's kind of a special two-parter with two different guests. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a lot of fun and hopefully edifying and useful.
Yeah, for sure. So, I don't know. We got anything else? I don't really. I think Al said it so good that it's just probably best we leave it for another discussion down the road. So
yeah, totally. I think the one thing we should know before we sign off here for the listeners is just to join us in praying for the Challies family. In light of their
absolutely
recent tragedy and the loss of their son. So
it was a shock to us, like having him on not so long ago, and he was just talking about his son, his family, and so they're definitely in our prayers, and I'm sure they would appreciate if they were in all of ours. So our prayers go out to him for sure, and his family, and him and his wife, and also his son's fiance and
the whole extended family.
So
totally.
So all the best to everybody, and
keep having real conversations.
Good stuff.
Catch you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Real Talk. If you'd like to send us some feedback, you can email us at reformedrealtalk@gmail.com. If you want to find us online, go to realtalkpodcast.ca. If you're looking for us on social media like Facebook or Instagram, or if you want to find us in your favorite podcast app, just search Reformed Real Talk and we should come up. We look forward to your feedback, as that is what helps us grow and improve as podcast hosts. This show,